So next presentation we'll have Professor Velosa with the field labs in marketing.
Because they'll be yelling, we're already speaking back, but I hope that now we have some questions. I don't have, well, we have had a presentation with 4 professors and the same project. Now I have the opposite. I have 1 person and 4 companies. Okay? And by God, what companies? I've asked, you guys are becoming famous, so I have not 1 project to share with you, I have 4. And these are not any projects, because the companies involved are companies like the National Geographic Society and Fox, and EDP, and Velosa, and a big energy company called OZ. So what I'm going to do now is present you 4 projects, and like Miguel, I will show you my enrollment keys. So please take a note. I will say things here that, I mean, you can also check. But basically, after you get the enrollment key, you will see you already have on Moodle all the script of the project. So we have set up the meetings with the companies until December. We have set already the dates for the meetings and when we start and how we develop this. I had to agree that with the companies so that they commit to doing this with you, and we organize ourselves, okay? So I'm going to go through the story. I have 4 projects to show you. I cannot tell you which one is more interesting, that you will have to guess. And I will show you how to enroll and the things we should do in the sense to facilitate your life in doing the projects. Okay? Now, I'm very proud that we had so many companies coming to want to work with us. It's good, and you should be grateful that they want to work with you. In a lot of them, they are big employers, so of course there are never any promises when you work with a company, but you are doing a wonderful thing in your career, which is show your value to the people who are working with you. And that is very good in terms of job prospects, okay? At the end of the presentation, I see that Inez has joined us. She did a lab with me, and she's also a teaching assistant here, and she works at Longa Vida. So she just drove from Sintra to speak to you. So thank you for coming, okay? So let me start. I'll just introduce myself. I'm Jorge Velosa. I also know most of your faces, but I teach a couple of courses here. And so if you have done a marketing course, it's probable that you have had a course that I've taught, or you still are seeing me in this semester. Now, first I have to put this working properly. Let me just put this on. Okay, let's move on. So, what are we going to do? I mean, just like everybody will tell us, this is the most important project of those available, of course. That's what we are going to sell you. What we're going to do is, you've been learning marketing, now you're going to apply it. And you have very different opportunities to do that. So, what we do is, you're going to solve a problem. And it's you have very different sectors, you have very different companies, very different people you're going to work with. By the way, in each of these projects, you already know the team you're working with. Actually, you have their phone numbers and emails in the description of the project. Now, in this case, we would like you to do a communications program. For each of the plans you're going to do, you have to build a marketing communications plan. So not only the marketing mix, but specifically a marketing communications campaign. So we're working with 4 different companies in diverse sectors. I believe everybody knows National Geographic, right? You know the National Geographic Society? No answer? Yes. Of course you know. Now, you also know 21st Century Fox, don't you? That is owned by Rupert Murdoch. They got together, so they did a joint venture, and that joint venture is called National Geographic Partners. So, National Geographic Society is a not-for-profit organization who has photographers waiting for 2 years to get a picture. Just think about this. Then you have Fox, and Fox is a major player in entertainment. They did a joint venture. And this joint venture wants you to do a work for them within Iberia. In all of these projects, we expect foreign students, of course, because that's the profile of our students. There is no limitation. So, in Iberia, they work, 21st Century Fox has a number of pay TV channels, and in Spain, they also have 5 TV channels. What are you going to do for them? Well, they're assessing new business. What can they do? This is a large brand. And you've been taught by us that we buy brands, not products or services. So this is a huge brand. The 21st Century Fox is also a big brand. So they're looking around. What they're doing is, let's suppose that you can open a set of shops, or a theme park, or an entertainment center based on National Geographic and 21st Century Fox. Any digital events you might do. So National Geographic wants to migrate to new business models. And you see, this is going to happen in all of the projects. You're going to have to have the chance to evaluate new businesses, pick a couple of them, and then build a plan for those. And that is, I think, a fascinating opportunity. So the name of this one is Identify the Next Business Opportunity for National Geographic Partners to Make It Big in Iberia. So if one of the students speaks Spanish, that's great. Why? Because, as you might imagine, if you have a cable TV business, you have a huge database. And you can do surveys to the people who are subscribers of the National Geographic channel in Spain. So you will work with the people who are based in the office here, and there are 2 people of the Madrid office who are also getting into the team. They're very interested in this, and they're very excited about doing this with us. Whatever this is as a peculiarity, the first part of the work is you guys are going to work to select the best opportunities. So you switch the radar on, and you try to see what is more attractive, less attractive, and then we select it in the middle of the project, and you work on the ones you find more attractive. And the ones I also find more attractive, because if it's not in agreement, we will not end well. So we will together define the opportunities you're going to pursue. Very interesting. This is services. This is a huge brand, to a big partnership together. They're very, very, very interesting. Next one, Canova. If you are Portuguese, you know the black toilet paper. We are proud of it. You can buy it in New York, everywhere. This is a very curious company. They have done very unusual things, and they have already done many different activities. So this is an image of their toilet paper. What they want to do is go out of tissue. Tissue is the basis of their paper products. If you think of a napkin, it's done of tissue paper. That's how they call it. They want to think out of paper. They've already done a couple of things out of Portugal. So they sell paper, kitchen rolls, paper napkins, handkerchiefs. And a lot of the things they've done are based in tissue. They are the market leader in Portugal, and they also sell in Spain, France, Belgium, Luxembourg. And a lot of retailers across the world sell Canova products. But you can find them in posh shops in London and New York, because the toilet, I found them in Shanghai actually. Last year I ran through a set of colored toilet paper inside a nice supermarket in Shanghai. So they're exporting, but they want to go further. What can they do out of tissue, out of paper? And that's your challenge. They've already, for instance, several years ago, they tried to go into cosmetics. Can you think? A brand of toilet paper and napkins going to cosmetics. They tried. They've tried a lot of things. And so what they want is for you to look in Portugal. They don't want you to look to Saudi Arabia or the US. Why? You will have data and consumers to look for in Portugal, not in outside. Okay? So in this case, you're looking at the opportunities in our country, and you're focusing either on the existing retailers where they are strong, or on the new channels where they don't exist. Okay? You can look at outside channels, inside channels. So in the case of National Geographic, the team is based in Portugal. You're working with the people of Fox. In this case, you're working with the R&D and the Innovation Director of Velosa. It's a very smart guy. Have you heard about design thinking? Okay, they're one of those that are interested in design thinking. Paulo Pereira da Silva is the founder. He's a very special person. He has been to innovation. He has very, very interesting ideas on the future of things to do. Now, this is the challenge, and the team is already also in the definition. I'm going to talk just a little about this opportunity. If you notice something, in this last company, when you visit Unilever or Procter or Nestle, most of the decisions are taken away from this country. The headquarters is not in Portugal. Where is the headquarters of Velosa? It's near Lisbon. Where is the headquarters of Osia and Gia? It's in Lisbon. So what you're going to do can be applied here. What is this business? You know Mobil, ExxonMobil? This is the former business of ExxonMobil in Portugal. It is owned by one of the branches of the Champalimo family. The Portuguese students know what Champalimo means. It's a very known entrepreneur family, and he's one of the entrepreneurs in our country. His name is Manuel Bel Champalimo. He's the owner, and they have a lot of experience in the marketing of energy. They bought the business of ExxonMobil. Now, the thing is, and this is sexy, huh? Gas bottles, gas propane bottles. It's the energy business guys, and they want to go into sustainable energy. So that's very interesting. It's really very interesting. The other very interesting thing is you can decide here. If you are Shell has closed the activity in Portugal. They used to have a big office down here in Velosa. Not anymore. So they want to develop their business. They're 200 million euro companies, and I had lunch with the CEO, and the person who does the project with you will be the director for business development. So you will really help her in getting the company running. They're very interested in participating in this business with you and helping them in finding new businesses. This is part of a holding called Jasmine. It's part of what is called a family office. So this person has an asset value of around 50 billion. Okay? You heard me? Got me? That's a lot of zeros on the right and a 5 on the left. Okay? So he is a shareholder of all these companies, and he really wants to build the business of energy. What happens is this is a small organization with a 200 million turnover of business, and they want to do many new things. So very interesting. Very interesting. This is a part of Jasmine. Okay, this company is owned by Manuel Champalimo. Well, these are the lines of business, from very sexy liquefied petroleum gas to jet fuel, the thing planes need to fly. They have B2C and B2B business. They also sell pallets you use in heaters you use at your place. So very different business, isn't it? This is not selling detergent or cosmetics, is it? But they need smart people like you, and they will grow. So they're a 60-year-old company regarding the Portuguese market. Of course, in all the projects, we will have foreign students and Portuguese students. We want both, for sure. Now, this challenge is how to become a sustainable major player in the Portuguese energy market. So they're already there. They have a small share, but there are a lot of avenues to growth. So one of the things you will do with them, similar to what you saw in previous projects, is find the opportunities. Are there things that you can do on energy that are not covered by the two biggies, EDP and Galp? Can you still do things? Of course you can. Of course you can. Also because you're fast. Think of the image between, you can have a large petrol ship or a fast boat. And think that you're going into the fast boat to try to tackle this. So you will have to evaluate alternative business opportunities and select the ones where you believe the company can play. It's similar to what I was telling you about Renault. Okay? So it's really nice because you have an open door. The people you are working with is the director of business development and the marketing director of the company. And I met the CEO and I was with them twice. Now, the other one, that was a big one. Everybody knows EDP, don't you? No? If you pay your energy bill, you know EDP. Now, one of the nice things is EDP is changing. And previously, if you think about marketing, maybe you wouldn't think about EDP. Maybe you should, again. What they want to do, it's a major project with our university. They were one of our partners for the new campus. And in this project, we are involved with one of the board members, who is the guy of marketing, and one of the persons who is also in marketing, the director in charge of marketing, and some other senior manager in marketing, and you're going to work with them. What is the challenge? So to try to explain it, I'm not an I'm energetic, but I don't know much about energy. They shared with me a couple of thoughts that I will share with you, but the title is, I think, a bit challenging already, which is, how can you do a marketing plan for a new business model? There are new ways to deliver energy. For instance, you guys at your home have a solar panel in your roof, and you can share the energy production of that solar panel. That's a new business model for energy. It's like Uber, and like they say, can we be the Uber, not the taxi driver? If you have tried the Lisbon taxi drivers, there are a couple of things to improve. That's why Uber could have a chance. So what they say is sort of this. Well, EDP is a large incumbent. Do you have any idea how big the company is? It's 12 billion of market cap. So it's one of the largest companies in Iberia. But they believe that they face a lot of challenges. There's new data. There are new values with us. There are new rules. How do you reduce your carbon print? There are new connections. You use Facebook all the time. You call a tax calling Uber. There are new models of doing things. I'm going to talk to you just now about Solar City. What is Solar City? It's a way to share energy. So there's a company that tells you, can we put some solar panels on the top of your roof? And you don't pay for them because you share the energy that solar panel generates. Okay? There are other business models like this. There are ways to measure how much you consume. The challenge of EDP is there are new models coming. Is this coming to energy? What should we do? So what the company wants you to do is they're going to share with you everything they know about everything that is new. And you're going to select a couple of options and you're going to build a marketing plan for them. See? It's more open than this. It's hard. So if you think of new models, just think this is the market value of Tesco, the British supermarket, and the market value of Amazon. Okay, much larger, isn't it? This is the market capitalization in April this year, last year. For Uber, you see the same. For Airbnb, if you have used it, it's also much larger than, for instance, for Hyatt hotels. So we have a lot of business models coming. What you're going to be asked to do by the largest energy company in our country is to look at new things in energy and build a marketing plan for them. So you're not going to play the engineer's role. You're going to play the marketer's role on a company that is traditionally full of engineers, okay? Which is fascinating. And they want to change as a company. So if there are new trends, you have new trends in retail. Amazon is now starting Amazon Fresh, which is grocery online. You see in travel, you have Skyscanner. That's how you search for cheap flights. Or you have TripAdvisor that you know. In telecommunications, you have a lot of new stuff. This Kineta is a company that replaces traditional ways of broadcasting the signal that we use to speak on the phone. Instead of using traditional antennas, they use a new form of antenna that is put in space, so everybody can have signal everywhere. Or you can talk about Skype or WhatsApp. In finance, you have Kickstarter, which is a crowdfunding platform. Miguel was just talking here about entrepreneurship. Well, in power, what do you have? Van der Broek is a Dutch manufacturer, the things I have learned to talk to you. Van der Broek is a Dutch manufacturer that allows peer-to-peer sharing of energy. So you don't notice because you're just paying your bill of energy, but this will change in the future. Maybe you can generate your own energy. You know Tesla, don't you? And you know the history of the Tesla battery that you can put at your house. The Tesla battery is at your house, and during the night where you don't spend energy, it will just save energy. Or it saves energy during the day, while your solar panels are absorbing energy, and you switch off from the grid in the evening. So you just use the Tesla battery to support your house. These are completely new things in energy. So they want to be ready. They want to choose those that are more interesting. Nest is a smart meter that you put in your house and that manages your energy consumption. And it tracks your overall energy consumption along the day. I'm just telling you the short bits, because the first thing that happens here, you get the download and learning of all these models, because you will have to select what you're going to work on. Again, this company, Solar City, has a market cap of 6.3 billion, and that's amazing because it's about half of what EDP has. And Solar City is a startup that sells this idea of putting sun panels on roofs. So they are awed and surprised by this, and they're going to ask you to think, what could be disruptive and what can EDP do here? So this is a view of EDP, very big in Portugal, Spain, and Brazil. It's the largest company in our country, fourth worldwide in renewable energy, and 50% of profit comes from out of our country. They are present in 14 countries. I told you the team for this includes José Ferrari Careto, who is the board member for marketing, and two other very senior people inside the DP. And they're very eager to do this with you. Now let's for the practical things. And there will be enrollment keys there. And by the way, all this presentation is in all the projects. So you can check everything I've presented you now in Moodle. It's already there since yesterday. So I'm going to use 5 students per project. But you have time. I will only select you until the end of May, because we will start working in June. We have 2 days in June where we want to work. Why? It's not that I don't want you to have holidays. Yes, I do want you to have holidays. But it's very good that you have a first meeting before September. So we set up, after we pick the teams, we set a meeting with me and with the company to have a kickoff. Okay? And we do that in 2 days in June. Each of the projects is already in Moodle, so you will enroll with enrollment key, and you can see all the details there. Now, I will define the team, and there's a couple of things I will tell you about teams that will help you. I will try to have diverse teams, so not all Italian, not all German. I appreciate, of course, that we will have a mixed team nationality-wise, and I wish it to be that way. We've already heard Professor Rita Camzicuna talk about this. This is very important because these are the rules of the game. Your final document can be normally a report, either in Word or PowerPoint, in what I call consultant style, 2 blocks of text. But in total, you have 25 pages per student, plus annexes. So you're going to split those in an individual report, that is 40% of your evaluation, and a group report, that is 60% of your evaluation. Normally for this project, you will do 2 things. One is some research, qualitative or quantitative. That is nobody's work. It's an orphan part of the work, let's say. Everybody pitched in. And then I will give you individual assignments for each of the topics of the work. So one works in communication, the other in pricing, the other in distribution. So the mix of this will be your work. Now, this is a group report. So in the end, if we have 25 pages, 15 are for the group, 10 are for the individuals. You can also put annexes. Of course, the detailed research, the detailed guide of the research you have done is in the annex. It's not in the main report. Okay? And it can also be in Microsoft PowerPoint. Now, the final presentation, you have 15 minutes. You heard Professor Rita Capsicuna say that. We have 15 minutes per student. And in total, we will have about 1 hour and a half. Okay? Now, there's questions from the jury, and we will have a company manager attending the presentation. The company manager will tell the jury elements what he thought about the presentation. In all these projects, you have a company presentation in December, and then the final academic presentation in January. Okay? You have two. And there's also a mid-project presentation in the middle of the road. It's already set for each of the projects for the companies with the dates. Okay? Now, we evaluate you on our rules to evaluate the labs. So theoretical analysis, did you solve it, methodology, the quality of written reports, your communication skills, and your ability to work. You will do a peer review. And the peer review will be shown to the jury in the final presentation. Okay? So we show the peer review to the other jury members at the end. You are evaluated on the individual written report, that's 40%. And then there's the team evaluation, which is 60%. And the report size limit, I've already mentioned it, but to make it clear, you have 125 pages total, which is 75 pages for a group of 5, 75 pages for your final report, for the group part, and then 10 pages each for each student. Okay? You can also have annexes, of course. Now, these are the enrollment keys. So, if you want to take a note of them, very simple, it's the initials of the company, and then 16, 17, and this is all in capital letters. The numbers, it's the same. To be a candidate, I have already opened a space for you to submit a short motivation letter. I'm going to ask you two things on the motivation letter. Explain why you want to do this, and explain also the ranking within the labs. We have a lot of labs. So give us a ranking, because if you all apply to all the labs, you will not get in all of them. But when we adjust the teams, we will have to know which is your preference. Is it my first choice, my second choice, my third choice? That will help us a lot when we come to the end of the selection process, okay? So that we don't do strange decisions. Also, you might indicate 1 or more team members that you want to work with, okay? So in this case, you have 4 different labs that you can apply to. Please tell me, I would like to come with this person and this person. If possible, I will try to accommodate that. We are groups of 5, okay? We want groups of 5 students. There are 2 pre-requirements that I think I didn't mention, but it was in an earlier slide, but I want to say. I want you to have completed the business research methods course, or something similar, and in the integrated marketing communications course, or if you have done it in the university, the same thing. We will open an exception for integrated marketing communications because we did not offer the course this semester. So you can still enroll in the first semester of 16-17 if you want to do the lab. We will allow you to take the course as you are doing the lab. Okay? The pre-requirement, though, then is, I repeat, a marketing research course. We prefer research methods for business, and also integrated marketing communications, because we will require you to do a communications plan in this exercise. This is the schedule. Since we have 4 different projects, we will have 4 different schedules. So you can check the one you prefer, and you can check the schedule in detail. We start today, and we allow you to apply until May the 31st. I'm not in a rush, so you guys can choose. Okay? And let's hope that we have vacancies for everybody who wants to do the project. Apply early enough so that we don't have a rush at the end. Okay? Now, after you have applied, I will tell you if you have been selected on the 3rd of June. So you apply up until you can apply tomorrow if you want, We will give you an answer on the 3rd of June. Why? We are going to have meetings on the 27th, 28th, and 29th. There are 2 meetings. One is with me, is the kickoff meeting, and the other is with the company the next day, immediately. So those of you who enroll, let's say, in EDP, you meet with me one day, the next day you're going to meet the company. So, then we need, that's a requirement of the program. There's a formal written proposal that you should submit until July 17. And then we have project meetings. They're all scheduled there. And so we have 4 meetings in 4 months with 60 minutes per team with me. And then, of course, you have regular meetings with the company. You go and work with EDP, Renova. The addresses are already in the detailed schedule. There's a mid-project review. That's you guys presenting to the company where you are in the middle of the project. In the case of National Geographic, you're going to select the businesses you're going to work on. Then you have the final presentation. That's in December. That's in the 3rd week of December. And then you will have the presentation to the academic journal. Okay? And your landing place, your report is the 6th of January. And the final presentation is between January 18th to 27th, 2017. Okay? These are some of those that we have done. I want to call Inês, who has been able to join us after facing traffic. And Inês did a wonderful work with Dr. Scholl. And she completed the work last year, in January 2015. Okay? Small Compal was the last one we did. I'm currently doing one with Jorge Martins, with a brand called Pura Vida, with 5 colleagues of yours. We are working with them, and we'll be finished now in May. Thank you, Inês. Do you want just to share a little bit of your experience?
So first of all, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Inês. Let me just briefly present myself. I'm currently working at Longa Vida. Longa Vida is basically a joint venture between Group Lactalis and Nestlé in Portugal. So I basically work for all the yogurt brands from Nestlé in Portugal. Meanwhile, I am also teaching assistant here at Nova of some of you. And last year, I basically did a marketing field lab with Professor Velosa. First of all, we had the pleasure to work with Rekit. We work with the brand Dr. Scholl, which is a curious brand in the food care market, which is not a very sexy market from beginning, but it was very interesting because we had the opportunity to work with a real team of professionals, especially the marketing team from this brand. And it was very good because we had the opportunity to study the market, so something a little bit different from what we actually did every day in our master course. But we had the opportunity to study this brand in depth because we had to analyze this brand in the beginning. Then we had the opportunity to explore all the market in which the brand was present. Then we also had the opportunity to actually propose the launch of a pair of insoles in this market, which is not the most sexy thing ever, but it was very interesting because it was something very new for us. It was something that was being launched in UK, in the United States, and we basically invest in launching these insoles for the Portuguese market. So we actually had to make it strategically viable for our market, and we had to make a communication plan around it. It's very hard to hear. It was very nice because we had the opportunity in the end to present this to the company, to send this to the company, and 6 months from the presentation, we actually saw an ad on television that was including some of our recommendations. We actually saw that the prices that we defined was not that different from the prices that were implemented in the market, so it was it was a pleasure for us to actually work with this team. And it was very good for me, especially because
Ah, okay.
Breathe.
Breathe in, breathe out.
It's very good.
Do we have a... This is stress of driving.
Thank you. Because I'm a bit sick.
There's a little bit more.
Sorry. A little bit of fever, but it's okay. So I was telling you that it was very good for me because in the end of the master, I was kind of thinking I really want to work in the fast-moving consumer goods industry. And I kind of started searching which companies could I apply, and this was a huge opportunity to match my willingness to apply to a company like this, and kind of starting working with something that could lead me to more easy entry in the professional market. And it was for sure a huge help because at the same time that I was doing this specific project, I was working full-time in the company that I am actually working now. So it was a very good match. It was easing my entry in the professional market. Plus, I was already getting a touch of what I was actually doing in the future in a company like I'm working now. So all the study of the market, with the market share evolution, all of the study of the competition, what can we do in the point of sale to differentiate our brand from the other brands. So basically, a lot of things that you study. You ask me, Professor Jorge Velosa, and it's something that you study in class and actually applies to reality. And working with a real company is for sure something it's very good for you, and that it adds to your CV and to your professional and personal experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Questions? Yes?
Do you apply for each one of the
Yes.
individually?
Yep. You apply individually, and you please name your ranking. So I prefer this one to this one. Okay? So sort of, if you want the 4, we have a problem, right? Because we only ask you for the 3 best options. But we try to make it that we hope that we have projects for everyone. But then if we have to choose, we will try to follow your preferences, okay? Other questions? No? Okay, so it's late. Thank you very much.
Thank you.